Alright, so finally finished up the backhoe attachment. This was like a 6-month process, and I'm just gonna go through kind of everything I did, the story, and a little action video so you can see it in action. So I picked this thing up and found it for sale, and these don't pop up very often, the 9MD2s. These are actually the exact model that Toyota used, except they painted them orange and wrote Toyota on them. So I was specifically looking for this model because I knew it would work with the skid steer. So like I said, I've been looking for a couple years, and they usually turn up for, I don't know, anywhere between $2,000 and $6,000. And so I found this one about, I don't know, 8 hours away, 6 to 8 hours away. And the guy was getting rid of it, and always hesitant, of course, going somewhere and looking and buying something without having it tested. So I get all the way down there, and it doesn't look all that great. He didn't have any way to test it, which should have been like a red flag. But I got it because I wanted it, and the price was pretty good. So I got it back. First thing I did was replace the fittings here. So these are on Amazon for like 70 bucks, I think, maybe cheaper for the pair, or for the set of 4. And they just, I unthreaded the old ones on the skid steer, and then put these on, and then put those on the attachment. So that was step 1. Step 2, I powered it on, and literally every cylinder leaked. Like, this one was the worst. It was spraying, just dumping fluid out. So I'm like, well, I got screwed. The guy probably knew it was junk and then just tried to get rid of it. So I found a local hydraulic place in town. It's upside down, but you get the idea. And I took all these cylinders to them, and they said, basically, you know, there goes another month or 2. And they're like, well, 4 out of the 6 are pretty much shot. They couldn't even get them apart. But 2 they could rebuild. It was this one and actually this one. So they were able to get it apart and then use the seal kits that I provided. And again, keep in mind, it took me like 30 days to order the seal kits because Stanley bought Bradco, and everything was like on backlog, back order, whatever. So it took a month to get the seals, another month for them to figure out the cylinders, and then it took probably 2 to 3 months to order new cylinders from Stanley. So this one was brand new, that one was brand new, and then the other 2 are brand new as well. So fast forward to, this is back in May, fast forward to now it's October, and we got everything back together. So just little stuff like this bushing, this plastic bushing here. So you can see there's like a guide that whatever you want to call it, that huge bolt. It's just a guide, and this plastic thing sits up here. So this was messed up, got a new one of those. The pins on the bucket, like, these were all seized except this one, luckily. But I had to cut all these out, all of them, buy new ones. These took another month to get. So new pins, all new grease fittings on everywhere. Luckily none of the cylinders except that bottom one were seized, so the cylinders all came out. The remaining seized pins are this one, which I don't think I'll ever need to separate the dipper from the boom. The bottom one here, and then I think these bottom bracket ones are seized as well. So I didn't need to get those out, obviously. But yeah. So then the adapter plate. This adapter plate fit like, I don't know, some other model. So I kind of adapted it to fit the Toyota parts. So I had to weld on like an extra reinforcement up top. I installed and welded like plates with the pinholes so the pins can drop down. This was a universal, whatever they're called, like universal skid steer thing, bracket attachment. So I modified this to work with the Toyota. There is a filter, you can see down kind of in there. It's just an inline filter. That I took apart and there was no filter in there, so I replaced that. And then the bucket itself was fine. This has 3 different attachment points for like different amounts of pressure and digging force. This side, nothing really to talk about. They have a few different plates here. Ones that are more flat have rubber bottoms. Oh, these are probably C's too. But this is what came with it. I mean, it's fine for gravel work and outdoor stuff. I guess if you have a nice surface, you don't want to mess it up, you need the rubber ones. So this attachment thing, obviously you can see it used to be attached here for a different machine and then come out. But I had to modify this a little bit. I welded here, reinforcement plate there, and then this grabs onto the factory pins here. So these lock it in, so the whole bucket, because if you don't have those, the whole thing will just kind of settle to the ground. Because of the hydraulics, they'll just kind of lose whatever pressure, or they'll just let it go. So you need these to grab on to hold this whole thing tight. And then also when you're digging, you need this grabbing on so it's actually attached to the machine. So the seat is also new. Just ordered that again from Stanley. I guess I could have got one from a tractor supply store or whatever, but I was getting everything else, so I might as well just get that. Yeah, that's about it. So let's get in here and I'll kind of show you how it works. So the center pedal here, you see, you push it forward, it locks in, and that starts to flow. And just so you know, this is out from the machine, and then this is back in. I had this flipped. I didn't know which way was in and out, so I fixed that. And then here, those levers I was talking about, these kind of lock this down here. So there's a plate here. If you have 2 bolts up front, there's a plate, so you cannot push this down if it's not in use. So I took that out, and so we're gonna push that forward. We're gonna increase the speed a little bit so it has more flow. See that there. Alright, forward. I'll pull our seat down. Now we need to know what all this does. So you'll see the picture here. This is left side down. So that'll actually pick the machine up off the ground if you wanted to. Same thing with this. Down. Okay, that's that. So then you gotta mess with, let's see, this bucket. Not that one. Okay, this left one here, we gotta release this holder, the safety plate. Alright. And now we can basically, so move this out, move it back in. This side is the second bottom portion of the attachment. Left and right is the bucket here. So to open our bucket, close it. You can speed up the machine obviously to get more flow, more movement. And then left right is this one, like that. Alright, so let's kind of try digging this area here. I'll put the bucket out, down. So now we need to kind of dig the bucket down and then also pull it towards us. So it's kind of like a two-handed operation here. And I'll admit, I'm not very good because I just started messing with this thing. So I think the idea is you want to kind of get the bucket where you want it, push down, and then pull the bucket towards you, like so. Actually, a combination of both. So, yeah, this thing actually picks up the machine. So let's push those down all the way. See how that works. Really bad at this. See what the stabilizer cylinders here do left and right. They can actually pick the machine up off the ground, gives you some more height and angle and torque and all that. So yeah, not bad. I mean, it digs a hole, so that's what you want it to do. You're not going to get through this with a shovel, that's for sure. So yeah, that's it. Any questions, I guess, just post them like usual, and I'll try to answer them. It's a lot of labor, a lot of work, but yeah, once you get done, it's definitely worth it. So hopefully this helps some people decide what to get. Oh, one more thing. They also make an 8 MD2 and an 11 MD2. So this is kind of the middle level. The other ones are really rare. Like usually I only find the 9 MD2s. So, yep.